Hi all, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing about the purchase module in Odoo 16. The purchase module is mainly used to manage all activities regarding the purchase. Okay, so inside the Odoo 16 purchase module, we have a lot of options like managing the vendors, the vendor price list, product variants, and we can create purchase order, RFQ and all effortlessly. Now comparing the version 15 and 16, we have slight changes in the purchase module. That is, inside the 15, we had a separate menu to create the purchase agreement types. But in 16, we don't have that. Instead, we have a menu called the blanket order. And if you want to create the purchase order type, which is the call for tender and all, you have to go to the internal link of the blanket order. And from there, you have to change it. Let's go to the module and see what are the changes in detail. Okay guys, so let's open the purchase module and see what all things we can do inside it. And also let's see what are the changes that has come inside the purchase module. So for that, I'm opening the purchase here. And once you open the purchase, you can see all the RFQs, which are request for quotations. It's similar to the sales module, but the case is that this is purchase and that's sales. Now in the sales module, you might have seen, once you open it, you can see all the quotations. Now similarly here, you can see all the request for quotations, which is RFQs. Now here, inside the, you can see a dashboard view, and under that, you can see the list where you have the RFQs. You can see the reference, the vendor, company, buyer, and the order deadline, activities, source document. Then here you have the total amount, and also you have the status. So we have different status like RFQ locked, RFQ sent, then we have the cancelled ones and the ones which are confirmed, which is purchase orders. Okay, all such things. Let's see all those status. That is, we'll go through each state when we create a purchase order. Okay, now this page is currently making us available of these much views. One is the list view, which we are currently witnessing. Then we have the Kanban view. So inside the Kanban view, you can see all the RFQs. And like if you just take one card, there you have the amount, the vendor's name, okay, and the reference date, also the status of the RFQ. Then we have the pivot view of the RFQs. So accordingly, you can put the measures and see which all columns you want to display and all. Then if you want to insert this into a spreadsheet, you can just click on insert in spreadsheet. We've done this before also. Then here you can flip the axis. You can expand everything if it's not expanded. Then if you want to download the XLSX of this pivot view, you can do that. Then we have the filter, group by and favorites option. Now under filters, we have my purchases, starred ones, RFQs, purchase orders, requestion to approve, order date, draft RFQs, waiting RFQs, late RFQs and all. Now we'll see what is this to approve and all. Okay. Then here we have the group by, where you can group by vendor. Okay. Then you can group by purchase representative. You have the option to group by order date and all here. So as you can see, purchase representative. And finally, we have the favorites, which is the very same favorites menu where we find in every other module. Then we have the graph view of the same. So I'm clicking on the graph here. Okay, so this is the graph view. This is the bar chart of the RFQs. Now here also you have the measures, and accordingly, like which all on the basis of what you want to see the result, you can put it from the measures here. You can also insert this into spreadsheet. Now this is the bar chart. This is the line chart of the RFQs. Now here you can see the buyer. Then this is the pie chart. Okay. So if you just remove the filter, you can see the result accordingly. Now if you want to view a filtered result, you have the option to filter it here. Then we have the calendar. So I'm just clicking on the calendar here. Now here you can see the calendar. Now based on the date on which these RFQs were created, the RFQs will be displayed on that corresponding dates. So here you can see different RFQs. Okay, so here you have 1, 2 and all. Then on the right side, you have the calendar. You can see the current date and the colors, that is each vendor is given each color. So each color represents a vendor. So here you have the colors and the vendors. And Here you can go to the previous day, the next day, today, and if you want to view it on the basis of week, day, month, year, that's possible here. Then you have the activities. These are the main views. So here you can schedule activity corresponding to a purchase order. So just click on schedule activity, choose the purchase order for which you are creating the activity. So I'll choose one. Then from here you can choose the activity type. So what kind of activity you are planning to schedule, that you can choose from here. So let it be a reminder. Okay, then you can simply click on schedule. Okay, so the one scheduled here, you can see it's in green color. Green color represents the activities which are to be done for the future, like which are scheduled for future, and yellow represents the one which are to be completed today, and then you have red, which is for the previous ones. Okay, now these are the main views which comes under the RFQs. Then we have different menus. Now if you go to orders, you have RFQs, which is request for quotation. Okay, so that's what we saw right now. Now we have come back to the list view itself. Now here you have all RFQs, my RFQs and all. Now here you can see the count of the RFQs, that is all RFQs, that is here you have 16 to send. So it is nothing but you have currently 16 RFQs to send. Just click on that. Okay. Then here you have the number of RFQs which are waiting. So here you have 0. As you can see, no results are there to show. Then you have the late ones. Okay, so how many RFQs are currently on the late track? So that also you can see here. Now here you have the average order value, the purchased last 7 days. Okay, the amount, and you have the RFQ sent in last 7 days. Also the lead time to purchase. All these things are available inside the dashboard. Now, if you want to create a RFQ, just click on create button here. And from here, you can create an RFQ. Okay. So like from there, you can directly create, or else if you just click on the orders menu, there also you have request for quotation. By clicking on that also will lead you to the same page. So let's create an RFQ. Creating an RFQ or even directly creating a purchase order, both are exactly the same. Okay. So here you can choose the vendor from whom you are going to buy the product. So I've chosen Azure Interior, and if you have any kind of vendor reference, you can put it here in this window. Now this is the purchase agreement. So if there are agreements which are created before, that is the previously created purchase agreements and all, that comes under the drop down, and from there you can choose it. That is, if you are creating an RFQ corresponding to a purchase agreement, then you can choose that agreement from here. Okay, so I'll talk about the agreement in detail. Okay. So I'm not choosing any purchase agreement and all. And here you have the order deadline. That is, you can set a deadline for the order to be expired. Then you have the expected arrival date. You can set an expected arrival date. Okay. Then you have ask confirmation. That is, if you just check it before this much days, if you give a count for the days before, now here in this case you can see 2 days. So before 2 days of expiration or order deadline and all, a confirmation message will come. That's the ask confirmation. And here you have delivered to. Here you can see the options. So from here we have chosen delivered to your company receives. Okay. Now here we have the order line, and here's the place where we add products. So you can simply add product from here. I'm clicking on acoustic lock screen. Now this is the variant grid entry. I will show that. Now, if there are variants for the product which we are using, which means you can choose from the variants, right? So I'm choosing one. You can set the quantity here. You have the brands here, and also you have the other variants which are like the colors and all. Okay. So I'm just confirming it. So here's the variant which I've chosen. You can see the unit price, subtotal and all. Now you have the option to send this RFQ by mail. So simply clicking on send by mail enables you to send it to mail, and then it makes the status change to RFQ sent. So I'm clicking on send here. Okay, so this has changed to RFQ sent. Now here you have the purchase order. So once you confirm the order, what happens is that it becomes purchase order, and currently you can see it's locked. That is, you can't do any further edits on this. So it's actually a kind of setting which we set in the configuration settings. If you just open it, inside the configuration setting, you can see log confirmed orders. So what happens is that once you confirm the order, automatically what happens, the purchase order will get locked, which means automatically log confirmed orders to prevent edit. So after the purchase order being locked, you can't do any further edits and all. So that's it. Now let's go back to the RFQs and open the one which we created right now. So here you can see it's locked. Now from here you can receive products. Okay. So locking doesn't restrict receiving products and all. So I've received the products. So here you have quality checks as well. You can do the quality checks. Just click on validate. Okay. You can set the correct measure. Validate. Okay. So that's the quality check. So something and all is set. We'll talk about in detail when we talk about the quality module. So I'm just closing it. So it's possible to check the quality of the product which you are receiving. Then you have the quality alert, validation and all. So let's validate it. I'm applying. So the done quantities will be marked here. Okay. So that's done. Then let's go back to the purchase order. From here you can create bill for the RFQ which we created right now, that is generated right now. Okay, confirming it. Okay, so we have to provide the bill date. I'm setting a bill date here, confirming it. Okay, it's done. And then you can proceed with the payment. So here's the register payment, create payment. Okay, that's done. Now this is the complete process of creating an RFQ, confirming it to a purchase order, then doing the payment and all. Next, you have the option which is purchase order. Now, once you click on purchase order, you can see all the purchase orders, and also the status will be the billing status. That is whether it's paid, whether there's anything to be billed, whether it's fully billed and all. Now, from here also you can create purchase order. This is exactly the same menu, or sorry, not menu, the same form which we can find inside the RFQ creation. So I'm not doing it again. Okay. Then you have blanket orders. So before talking about blanket orders, we have to go to configuration settings. Okay. So inside the configuration settings, you have the option which is purchase agreement. Now, as I said before, before starting the video, I talked about the changes which has come in Odoo 16 and 15. Like compared to 15, there are slight changes in Odoo 16. So inside 15, you had an option under this purchase agreement where you can directly create the agreement types. So here you can't do that. Even though you can find the types inside the bracket, that is call for tenders and blanket order, you don't have the option to create them separately. So instead we have some other options. So if you just go to orders here, you can see blanket order. In 15, if you just click on the orders there, instead of blanket orders, you can see the purchase agreements. So just click on the blanket order and click on create. Now if you want, now already here you can see the agreement type is in blanket order. Now if I want the agreement type to be in call for tender, what you have to do is go to the internal link of the blanket order, and from here you have to change the setting, and even you can change the name of the agreement type. So from here I am changing the name to call for tender. Okay, now from here the agreement selection type, as you all know, call for tender means if you are sending multiple RFQs, one will be confirmed and the other ones will be cancelled. So here you can see the option that is select only one RFQ. Okay, and in the case of blanket order, you can select multiple RFQs. Even if you confirm one, the others will be in RFQ sent state. Okay, then here you have the data for new quotations and all, that also you can set accordingly. And then you can use that inside the blanket order, that is the blanket order main. Okay, then it works normally like the ones which we used to create before in Odoo 15. So if I just save it, go back to new, and if I add a product and all, from here you can add the quotation and continue the process. So we'll talk about these purchase agreements in another video in detail. So I'm not going much deeper into that topic. So from here you can choose the product, quantity and all, and then you can confirm it. It will go to ongoing. So one thing is that you have to set the what? Vendor. Okay, so it's from the vendor you're buying the product. So you can confirm it, setting a price. Now, after confirming, it goes to ongoing, and here you can see all the RFQs corresponding to this purchase agreement. Okay, and it's from those RFQs you confirm or cancel and all. Okay, so from here you can create new quotation, close it, cancel it and all. So we'll talk about it in another video. Okay, so that's the change. I hope you guys got what the change is. Then we have vendors. So this is the option where you can see all the vendors. Okay, so you can simply create a vendor by clicking on create. We've seen this window before as well. Okay, so this creation form is similar to the ones which we done before. That is, in sales we created customers and all. So this is exactly the same form. So the vendor can either be an individual or a company. So here's the individual and Brandon is the vendor. Now you can put a company to which he belongs to. I'm putting Deco, and the details, that is the contact details and all, has come according to the company which he belongs to. Now here you can put the job position, and you have the title, that is doctor, madam, such titles and all. That is how to address that person. Then you have the option to add contacts and addresses. Okay, so you can simply click on add here, and then you can add multiple addresses for the vendor. So we've seen this before as well inside the sales module. If you just refer the sales module, you can see how to add multiple addresses. So simply choose the one which you are going to add, provide the details. So save and close. Here's the address. Now if you want to add again, click on add, choose whatever address you're going to add, and then save it. So I'm discarding it. Now here you have the sales and purchase tab where you have the purchase regarding details. That is, you have the payment terms for a purchase. You can set it for this vendor. You have the 1099 box, the payment method, the receipt reminder. Okay. Then you have the supplier currency. Okay, you can set the supplier currency from there also. Then we have the fiscal information. That is, you can choose the fiscal position here. So if there is any fiscal position, you can choose that from the drop down. So fiscal position is basically for tax mapping. Then you have the point of sale, which is the barcode, where you can set the barcode for this vendor. Now under sales, you have the salesperson. So set a salesperson for the person. And you have the payment terms. You can set a payment term also. Then under miscellaneous, we have a reference and website tags, SLA policies and all. So as I said before, this is exactly the same what we saw inside the sales module. That is, while creating a customer also, we've gone through the same steps. Here you have the accounting. Now it will take the accounting of the parent company. So by just clicking on this link, it will take us to the Deco edX accounting details and all. So here you can see the accounting detail. I'm going back. Now if you want to add any internal notes, you can add it here, and the warnings can be set here. Okay, so you have the option to enable it in the configuration setting, that is to enable the warnings, and here you can provide the message. Okay, that is the warning message which you want to display in the purchase order. Okay, and it can either be a warning message or a blocking message and all. So here you have the warning on sale order, warning on purchase order for this particular vendor. Then we have the partner assignment, where you have the geolocation. So it's computed based on the address we provide. Here you have the partner review, partner activation. So here you can provide the partner level like gold, silver, bronze and all. You have the commission plan, activation, and also the level weight. You can provide the level weight of the person. Here under the partner review, you have latest partner review, next partner review, and also the partnership date. So these three are dates. You can provide the dates accordingly. Here we have the membership. This person can either be a free member or else you can buy a membership. So whatever membership you are buying, those details will be seen here in the order lines. Okay, so I'm just saving it for the time being. Now here you have a lot of smart tabs which are all regarding the activities of the vendor which we created. Now if you have participated in any meetings or if you have any active opportunities and all, the count will change here and it can be accessed from the smart tabs. So that's the orders tab. Then we have the products, where you have the products as well as the product variants. So these are the products. So all these products are created, like can be purchased. So it's simply clicking on create enables you to create a product. So I'm creating a product which is cheeseburger. Now here you can see can be sold and can be purchased as enabled. So only if you enable it, you can use it inside the purchase module. That is the purchase order. Okay, so here you have the product type, invoicing policy, then you have the sales price and all. Okay, and you have the customer taxes, then tax cloud category, ever tax category and all. Okay, so the product type can be anything like consumable, service, storable, event ticket, course, event booth and all. Then here you have the attributes and variants. So if it's a shirt and all, you can provide the attributes and variants for the product like black, blue and all will be the colors. And you have the sizes and all. So that things can be provided here under the attributes and variants. Then we have the sales module, sales tab, where you can set the optional products, accessory products, alternative products and all. Then here you have the point of sale, where you can just check it to show whether it's available in POS. Then here you have the e-commerce shop details, extra product media and all. Let's go to the purchase tab. Under the purchase tab, you have the option to add the vendor for the product. So once you put the route MTO and all, if the product, like if a purchase order has to be triggered and all, you can simply use the vendor provided here. Then here you have the inventory. Okay, under the inventory you have the routes. So these routes and all comes under the inventory. So I'm not talking about it in detail. We have these much routes like manufacture, dropship, resupply and all. Then we have the accounting details where you have the receivables, payables, automatic email at invoice. Then you have the interest at UNSPC and all. So that's all about the product creation and all. It's similar to the ones which we done before. And here you have the smart tabs. Okay, so that's how you create a product. So simply create the product and save it. Then we have the product variants. So here you can create product variants directly. Okay, and also you can see all the variants which are created. So here you have the variants of certain products. So stool food is a product. Here you have the variant, that is, it is the dark blue version of that product. Here you have green, gray, dark blue, green, gray and all. Okay. So that's how you create product variants. If you simply click on create variant, only difference you can find here is the attribute and variant menu will be invisible here because we are creating an attribute directly. So there's no need to add the product variant here, right? That is the attribute and variants tab here. So we are directly creating a product variant. So I'm not creating one because all other things are similar to the one which we done right now. Okay, so that's all about the products. Now we have the reporting, under which we have the purchase analysis. So we have currently two views, which are graph view and pivot view. Okay, so this is the pivot view. Here you have the graph view. So this is the bar chart of the purchase analysis. Here's the line chart, the pie chart. Okay, now here you have measures, and based on these measures you can see the graphs. Now if you want to insert this in spreadsheet, simply click on insert in spreadsheet and you can do that. Also we have filters, group by and favorites. Now let's go to the configuration. Under configuration you have product attributes. Okay. So here you can see the product categories. You know the categories like consumable, all, deliveries, rental and all. So from here you can create the categories and this can be found inside the product creation menu. Then we have the product attributes. So these are the attributes which comes under the variant creation. While creating the variants and all, we'll put the attributes like color, size and all. So those attributes can be created from this menu. So simply click on create here, give the attribute name, and also you can set the display type and variant creation mode and also the e-commerce filter visibility. Okay, then we have the vendor price list. You can see all the vendor price list here. Okay, that is setting a particular amount from a particular vendor for a particular product. So click on create here. You can choose the vendor here. I'm choosing Azure Interior, and you can set the product for which you are setting a price. Okay, so I'm putting Kaustik lock screen. You can set the quantity. For 5 quantity, I'm putting the unit price as 100, and also you can set the validity, that is the start from which day to which day. Okay, now here you can see the vendor product name and also vendor product code. I'm saving it. So that's how you create a vendor price list. Then you have settings. Inside the settings, you have the lock confirmed orders. Okay, so that's what we saw right before. Then also the purchase agreement. Then you have the purchase order approval. So it's simple. It's a feature where you need the manager to approve to go further. That is, if you have, you are doing a purchase and it exceeds the limit, which is 5,000. So only if the manager approves, you can proceed. So that's the purchase order approval. Then you have the warnings, that also we've seen what it is. Then here you have the receipt reminder, which will automatically remind you of the receipts which you have to pay. Then you have the bill controls. Okay, so here you have the invoicing. And under the invoicing, you have the bill control, that is similar to the invoicing policy which we saw in the sales module. So here you have ordered quantities, then also received quantities. So in case of sales, you might have seen the ordered quantity and the delivered quantity. So that's it. And here you have the three-way matching. So three-way matching is to make sure you only pay bills for which you receive the goods you ordered. So only after receiving the goods you ordered, you need to pay. So that's three-way matching. We'll see that also in a detailed video. Then under the products tab, you have variants, variant grid entry, product packaging, So variant grid entry, we've seen in sales module. It's similar to the one in the sales itself. Then here you have variants, that is purchase variants of a product using attributes. So we've seen that creating attributes So only after you enable it, you can see the product attributes here. Then you have product packaging, that is package products by multiple unit. Okay, so multiple unit per package So inside a package, you're creating like 5 products in a pack Okay, then you have drop shipping, that is to request your, if there's a case that is your vendor and your customer are in same location, but you are not in the same location. In such cases, you can deliver the products directly from the vendor to the customer. Okay, so these are the main things which comes under the purchase module. I hope it's clear. That's all we have for you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.